All right, everyone, Atlas the Wizard here. Uh, I've been meaning to make another tier list, just because it got a lot of attraction, and a lot of people wondered why I'm making, another tier list if I just play Lifeline. But again, a tier list is a tier list, and I'm having fun playing Olympus, playing Stormpoint, playing, even King's Canyon. It's kind of refreshing to play King's Canyon again. And just seeing how much this game has evolved in a period of 3 years. So that being said, I'm going to be making a tier list. This could apply to ranked. This won't be for arenas. This could be ranked pubs. I'm going to categorize them in both, just because I feel like they ranked and pubs are kind of they're kind of the same in some ways. But let's get started. Let's get started. So my first legend is going to be a C plus legend. And the first C plus legend that we have is Mirage. Now, Mirage, I feel like the only thing that'll make Mirage better is probably more clones from his ultimate. Because his ultimate is so fast, I feel like the boozles aren't really there. Good players are going to be able to know which Mirage it actually is. Um, Mirage right now is going through the Naruto arc, right? Right now he's just like young Naruto, base Naruto, right? He could have the potential to be, you know, uh Hokage Naruto, but right now he's just base child clone Mirage, he needs a little bit more. But C plus is kind of to the point where he's really not viable in ranked. Um, and that'll go for B tier as well. We'll get into B tier in a second. But C plus right now, Mirage, he's not very viable. He you need a lot of team coordination um to make him viable. You need a definitely three stack. If you are gonna play ranked, Mirage isn't really there at the moment. But good Mirage players have reached masters. I know really good Mirage players. That doesn't change the fact that he needs a bit more, in different departments. Now let's go on to the B minus legends. The first B minus legend, to no surprise, Lifeline. Lifeline, I put her pretty low last time. I'm gonna put her in B minus just because again, she has a little bit more utility than Mirage in terms of the tap res. I have a lot of issues with the tap res. You can look at um, my Lifeline desperately needs a buff video that I have. Um, I kind of point out the flaws that Lifeline has in more detail because I play her so much. But I feel like just to narrow it down for the sake of the video, I would say to make Lifeline even an A tier legend would maybe be fast heals again. The fact that she doesn't have any shields or anything special outside of her being hands free doesn't change the fact that she doesn't really last long during a fight. So if we do trios, right? Let's say trios ranked, she always has to be at the back of the team. And that's good and all, but you're categorizing someone's play style to fit the legend, and that's what makes her really weak. Not really weak. I mean, B minus is still playable, but it's putting her in a position where you have to play her a specific way and you have to have a microphone. So for that reason, I'm gonna put her in B minus. Either her drone starts following her around, or she gets fast heals. I think I think those are the only one or the other. If she gets both of those buffs, she might be an S tier with some legends, but that's stretching it. That might even put her in A plus. If she got both of those buffs, she'll rise up for sure. Next up, we have Watson. I also put actually, yeah. This is still B minus. Watson is in B minus for me. Actually, no, 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 no. She's just in B tier. Watson's definitely just in B tier right now. The fact that she can defense people, if someone tries to push you, um, let's say they go up a zip line and you already had the tethers up there, you can one clip someone very easily. It's really hard to push Watson now. If you do, it's not gonna end well. The fact that she can regenerate her shield, right, normally passively, and she, again, she's just like Lifeline in the sense that you do need microphones to actually play Watson, and you need that coordination. You need heavily reliant on coordination. Um, People try to downplay her, but that's honestly because they don't really play her. Um, to notice that she does have flaws compared to other defensive legends in the game. But I put her up higher than my previous season because of caustic nerfs, of course. Caustic nerfs play a big role in ranked, and a lot of people that play ranked and pubs, if they three stack, they know what I'm talking about, and we're gonna get to caustic pretty soon. But yeah, Watson's in is in just solid B. So my first B plus legend that I have, that is gonna go to Fuse. Now Fuse, he's really interesting because uh, he really shines in outside areas. He can shine in inside areas, but it's really situational, and you have to know angles. You have to know good repositionings to use his ultimate indoors. I mean, you need to take a risk uh, when it comes to his ultimate, which is really good. Um, he's in a good state right now. I feel like Fuse is just B plus. I mean, there's nothing really much to say about it. Clusters are good. Um, Pretty annoying if someone's trying to revive. She definitely beats Lifeline in almost any way. If you get if Fuse knocks one of my teammates and I'm playing Lifeline and he just ultimates Lifeline immediately, it's kind of a wrap. I mean, he can thirst my teammate in his ult. He can knuckle cluster them to death. He can do so much for the team. And he's very viable. He's really fun. Next up, going up a tier higher, we have Revenant. The only reason why Revenant's in B plus right now, um, than previous seasons that I placed, is because he's kind of been slept on, and the fact that a lot of people don't play him, people kind of forget like the Rev push. Um, Rev Revtain, the Revtain strat is still deadly. It could still happen. Uh, you know, there's a lot of forgiveness when it comes to his ult, and I think that's what makes him really good. Um, you can start saying this for ranked, especially top three. If you know where the teams are, you can definitely ref push someone. Two people ref push one team, one guy ref pushes a solo or something. Um, yeah, he's pretty strong. So I put him in B plus. My next choice for B plus, this is going to be very surprising to a lot of people, and I understand. You can agree, you can disagree. Let me know in the comments. That being said, please like the content, share the content. Really helps out the channel. Still in B plus. This is the middle of B plus. We have Crypto. Now Crypto received the buff where his drone goes hands free, and it makes mountains of a difference. I feel like being hands free and throwing your ult, the fact that it does a guaranteed 50 damage is pretty good. And a lot of people don't realize that, especially when it comes to third parties, which Apex is really known for. It's really good now. Crypto has always been the, how do I say this? He's always like at the front of the pack when it comes to a third party, right? Or at least second. I feel like before he would be like in second place. So say I'm playing Crypto, Gibby, Lifeline, right? Usually you would have Gibby at the front, right? To kind of start the fight. Now Crypto can start the fight. Um, he's very intertwined now, and I think just a simple buff like that makes him a little better. Granted, I feel like his ultimate should do a little bit more damage. Um, just because, well, maybe not more damage. Uh, yeah, it does 50 shields. I would like it if it did like maybe just a little bit of damage to flesh. I get it that that would kind of make the character a little bit busted, but if we're talking in terms of the tier list, I mean he's B plus, man. He's really good. I've been having fun with the games I've had with Crypto. It feels good. He feels good. I feel like this is where he needs to be. Then we have Caustic right above Crypto. Um, he's above Crypto just because his ultimate is still really good. Granted, he got nerfed with his gas canisters. I had him in A tier before in my previous tier list. Um, but that's good just because he has less defense, and it's good because in ranked, it kind of gives me a reason to go back and play ranked. The fact that I don't have to be tethered to to his shield kind of makes him a little bit better. Well, not better, but the nerf was warranted, in my opinion, to make ranked a little bit less toxic, a little bit healthier. Now caustics have to really, really think about where to put their gas canisters. They don't have to just be Neanderthals and just throw them randomly. So that's good. So yeah, I mean, high B plus, and then the last B plus legend. This will come to a surprise to a lot of people. I think it's Rampart. Why is it Rampart? Well, let me give you this scenario, right? Say someone's chasing me. I'm using Rampart. I go inside a door, right? I put up my wall in front of the door. Granted, this person's still kicking down the door, being all unga bunga, right? They kick down the door. My shield is already up, right? And then I start beaming them. Whereas Caustic, it's coming based on what you hear, right? And then let's put it this way. Let's put it this way. Someone kicks down the door as opposed to Caustic. They still have to shoot the 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 top half of her shield, or they have to shoot the bottom of the shield, right? There's kind of no in between once they kick down that door. So Rampart is so defensive, and I think she's really, really strong at ranked. Maybe not like A minus. She's really high B plus though. Um, she is very, very viable now in the meta. Her, excuse me, I might need to sneeze soon. Oh, excuse me. Her ult could be better, but she's in a good spot right now. Let's start getting into A minus. My first A minus legend is Seer. Now, I have Seer up here. Still because I mean he's still really darn strong. Pretty top. I wouldn't say top tier, but still really good. Um, his ultimate still pretty solid. I wish it was a little bit bigger. Because if you compare it to kind of Bloodhound, I don't know, it's a little weak. But I feel like his tactical should be like a freaking Kamehameha or something, you know? Should be a little bigger. He should go further. That'll definitely bring him up. But I mean, he still has a lot of team composition. There's so many compositions you can do with Seer. His ultimate's good. You know, uh, his passive is still slept on. I feel like the Heartseeker. It's really good, especially if they're running around and you can't really pinpoint where they are. It's very helpful. But again, that's not really for team composition. That's just for him. But still, he's still really good. Up next in A minus, we have Bangalore, aka Angalore. I've said before that Bangalore is in A tier. I brought her down just a little bit, just because there's a lot more legends that have scanning abilities, and her smoke is still kind of doesn't really do much for her in terms of her hiding or something. But that being said, I feel like Bangalore beats Seer, especially when it comes to 1v1s because of her double time and her ult. So I mean, if let's have another scenario, right? Let's say uh, I'm playing a Bangalore with two other people, and there's a Seer fighting another squad, right? Or vice versa, they're fighting us. If the Seer throws his ult directly at me, well, I can counter his ult with my ult. So what's that gonna do, right? That's gonna scatter everyone that's in Seer's ult, or everyone's gonna get hit within the ult, right? So it's either gonna, if placed correctly, of course, if placed correctly, it could destroy Seer's ult, rendering that third party successful for the Bangalore team. So I mean, these are just some scenarios, right? You're gonna come across, especially in ranked in a ranked setting where people know what they're doing. Um, Granted, you can always put Seer's ultimate in a very secluded spot where it can't be shot at, but still, it's a lot of missiles to just not avoid. Maybe in indoor fights, that's a different story, and it's kind of hard to say based on like Olympus, right? It has a lot of areas that they're not entirely open. It's 50-50, so still I still think Bangalore still wins Seer in a 1v1. So, next up we have Loba. Now I have Loba higher than Bangalore for a number of reasons. Um, Off drop, her ultimate's at 50%, so that's already pretty good. And if we talk about her viability in ranked, she can just, if you're solo queuing, which I'm sorry if you are, but if you're solo queuing, say your whole team gets killed, right? It's just you. Her escape options are crazy. Maybe not the best in the game, but she's very situational, and uh, uh, she's very she's very player dependent. But that has nothing to do with the legend itself. For me personally, I feel like Loba and Seer and Crypto are probably the hardest legends to master right now. But Loba's kind of the best solo queue legend, one of the best solo queue legends for ranked. So I don't know. I don't know. I just have her at A minus. She could use a little bit more. And then my last A minus legend. This might be a little bit of a shock, based on how high I had her in the previous season, but based on how much I've played last season and this season, I feel like Ashe is the last um, A minus legend right now. She's really, really strong. The only buff I would give Ashe to kind of put her in A tier or, A plus, God forbid, right? Would just be her ultimate. I feel like something about her ult just, I don't know. It needs a better indicator that it's placed, you know? It should be clear where it is on the map. Um, Maybe it should be positioned on an enemy map. If I don't know, it's a lot of recon stuff. She is a recon legend. Um, but other things besides that, her tether, her marked for her arc snare is really strong. I think a lot of people underutilize it for sure, but I don't know. It's getting there. It's getting there. She's really solid. Um, for people that do finishers as well, it's pretty fast. And you can mark people right when there's boxes around, and that's going to be especially present and very important when it comes to ranked. Knowing where people are in ranked is a big deal. It's a really big deal. So for that reason, I have Ash in A minus. And then we start getting into the last A. Well, yeah, this is just an A tier legend. I feel like we're gonna have Mad Maggie. Mad Maggie is the new legend for the season, and I have her in A tier for a good number of reasons. I mean, like you just move faster with shotguns. It's insane. Highlights your enemies. I mean, there's and I'm this is coming from like a lifeline that loves close range combat. If I could and if I wanted to, I would definitely play Maggie. The fact that she can close in on fights with her ult is a really big deal. Combined with Octane, combined with Wraith, um, I've seen strats where one of my friends played Wraith and Mad Maggie, and he teleported. He used this teleport while Maggie threw his ult behind him so it doesn't hit him, right? So he gains the speed that Mad Maggie has, and the speed from her tactical, and we wreck shop, right? Granted, I was the last one to get into the fight, but wow, like the synergies that Maggie provides, it's kind of on another level. Um, Especially when you factor in that the wrecking ball does damage people. And of course, the last thing is her drill. Um, Definitely the one of the best third party tools in the game. That's not to say that there isn't better ones, and you regenerate it really fast. You can also shoot with it while you have your R1 up, so that's pretty strong. Mad Maggie is definitely an A tier. Next up, we have Horizon, Space Mama. Space Mama, I mean, yeah, same thing, kind of with Maggie, but she gives herself a movement utility that's not based on her ultimate, right? So it's just her tactical, and her tactical is pretty fast. Her ultimate is kind of a really good third party tool. Again, I think it is a little bit faster than Maggie's, so that's why I think I put her above it. And the lift is still just as strong. Gets her out of trouble, pops a battery in the air, boom, back into the fight, and you get a soft landing. What else do you really need except the Horizon in your team? Horizon is A tier. Next up in A tier, Octane. Octane, no surprise, still one of the top characters in the game. Um, Jump pad, stem, regenerating health. Once he gets knocked, he gets picked back up, pops a battery, boom, back into the fight. 2 syringes max if you want to. Boom. If you have a med kit that you have as a spare, you just stem your life away, pop a med kit last, stem again before the med kit goes away or something. Boom, full health. Going at max speed all the time. That's A tier Octane. Put in the A in Octane. Lastly, in A tier, solid A tier, we have drumroll Pathfinder. Pathfinder, uh, I think has a better tactical than Octane because it doesn't damage him. Good Octane main or good Pathfinder mains are always gonna find a way to get out of a sticky situation. Especially if you have pay to win skins. It's gonna be really hard to kill this robot. Um, but yeah, I mean, getting your what do you call it, the zip line at good positionings, and then scanning, right? I forgot to mention scanning for some of these guys, which is why I put them at a higher tier. Scanning's a big deal, especially in ranked. You need to know where you're going, where you're at, where you need to be, right? Pathfinder has that utility in high level gameplay. And then we start getting to my single A plus legend. That's going to be Wraith. Yep. People are telling me, "Wow, why is Wraith an A tier? I thought she would be S tier with Ash last season." Um, well, because we're getting smaller maps and Stormpoint isn't in the rotation as much anymore, uh, you know, Wraith can shine again. Wraith has always been that legend, that sweaty legend. Uh, she has solo and team play compositions that are out of this world, honestly. Uh, the only drawback is you do need to master her tactical, really time it well, really know when to back out. Um, a lot of people don't understand that. Like, yeah, the legend is strong, but she's only as strong as you make it. Um, yeah, she's only as strong as you make it. And Wraith has all the tools, but it's kind of up to the player to kind of dictate that. And I've noticed when I play ranked, I noticed that a lot of Wraiths don't really throw their portal unless they ask to, unless you ask them to. And I don't know. It's not really how the character should be. I feel like she should always be at the front. She shouldn't be behind anyone. But Wraith, A plus. I mean, you talk about creme de la creme, top tier, you're looking at Wraith. However, we start getting into S tier. In S tier, we have the holy trinity of legends. First one being Bloodhound. A Bloodhound, I mean, yeah, he has it all. He has a better scanning ability than Seer. He can still track people, scan for a mile with his tactical. If you use your tactical, you could just go into your ultimate. Your tactical recharges faster. You know, just endless scans on scans on scans. You know, find him two accelerants, gets his ultimate again, or something like that. Uh, and he can scan survey beacons. I mean, what else do you need? Jesus, this is it. This is all you need for ranked. All right, enough about Bloodhound. We have Gibby, and I know what you're thinking. Wow, that's a really fire skin. And yeah, you're right, because I play Gibby for ranked. I don't play Lifeline for ranked. Right, Lifeline is trash. I don't play Gibby for pubs. I feel like that's a little bit unfair and kind of cheating people from a fun experience, which is losing, because Gibby is still S tier. Um, what can't this guy do? He has better defensive options than Caustic, than Rampart, than the whole cast, dude. Like, there's no other defensive options. Um, he can block you from ultimates. If I see a Bangalore throw her ult at me, immediately pop bubble. Um, I feel like Gibby's bubble. I feel like the only buff or nerf Gibby should get is that his bubble should disappear once he gets killed. Um, kind of like Caustic, where his gas traps disappear. His shield shouldn't last that long. Especially because Gibby's bubble gives everyone so many defensive options. Especially if you throw it before a door, you have that cover once you kick down a door. Gibby's pretty strong. I wish, he got a little bit of a nerf just to give kind of the whole cast a better chance. But I mean, he's that's the only nerf I would give Cost or Gibby. He's extremely strong, middle of the S tier. But then we start getting to the toppity tippity top S tier legend, and that's Valkyrie. Valkyrie can do everything Bloodhound can do. Her tactical can damage people. I mean, you can see the missiles flying. You know if they're gonna hit or not because she's gonna tell Equip that she says, "Oh, I got him" or something, right? She can just fly out of danger. She doesn't need a cooldown like Pathfinder to escape a situation. You know, she's not gonna leave a trail behind like Wraith. It's gonna take a lot for you to follow a Valkyrie, especially if it's near a building and you beam this Valkyrie and she just flies up to the highest point of that building. Especially in like something like World's Edge. I mean, Valkyrie just shines in streamer buildings. Valkyrie just you're not gonna kill her, honestly. A good Valkyrie player knows that. Her ultimate repositions you, especially if you're already like, on the third level ring and ranked. Repositioning with Valkyrie is just a godsend. Just putting you where you want to be, right? Again, granted, she does need team coordination, but her ultimate just kind of it's a very specific visual indicator when her ultimate is up, and I feel like that's what makes her the best character in the game. Wow, but that's it. This is my season 12 tier list, Defiance tier list. Let me know what you guys think. I put a lot of thought into how this tier list ended up. So yeah, leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Take it easy.